It's another year and another iPad Pro upgrade, and I keep wondering when Apple is going to start making this thing feel like a Mac. Well, actually, it's getting pretty close. Turns out, when I was setting up the new iPad Pro with the M5 processor and iPadOS 26, and I was thinking, I'll use this as my actual everyday work computer, I was ready to realize all the limitations like I've always been complaining about. And they're not really as much there anymore. A lot of this has to do with iPadOS 26, which has multitasking windows and a more Mac-like feel, which allows me to get into a workflow that now feels much more like I'm working on a laptop. And part of that is also the iPad's growth, especially at the Pro end. I mean, the iPad Pro M5 is a beautiful tablet. It has a fantastic, vivid display. It's the same display as last year's iPad Pro M4. The M5 processor is very early days. It's hard to tell how fast it is, but it feels incredibly zippy. I love the Face ID for the iPad because I can log into things fast in keyboard mode, actually faster than on my phone. And I wish that MacBooks had that. I wish that MacBooks had displays like this. I wish my MacBook had an M5 processor. So in a lot of ways, this is better than my MacBook. So let's talk M5 versus M4. Is it really worth the jump or the upgrade? I mean, they just had an M4 iPad Pro that got released last year. The M5's promises are in graphics capabilities, AI capabilities, and also maybe some battery life efficiency. But the M4 was already really fast for what it did on an iPad Pro. And I feel like if you've got one of those, you're totally fine. Apple tends to look at its chip jumps over many years comparison anyhow, realizing that it's pretty incremental. The other thing is I'd want the software, including the apps, to take another leap forward to justify all the things that the M5 can do. Plus, there's 5G capability if you want to pay for it. The new modem and wireless chips in this iPad Pro are faster. I haven't been doing a lot of 5G testing yet, but I'm curious. And there's better Wi-Fi support on this model. There's also fast charging on this iPad Pro now, which I always like fast charging. You do have to get a separate fast charging adapter that Apple sells, or you get one separately. So it should charge up more quickly if you need to go on the go. But I feel like the everyday stuff I do for this feels pretty similar, with the exception of that iPadOS 26 is now making this feel like I'm drifting into Macland. Just keep in mind that the iPad Pro with keyboard case that I was working on is not an included package. The iPad Pro comes on its own, the keyboard case is sold separately, and so is the Apple Pencil. That stuff is all gonna cost you. But it's still not exactly a Mac. And that's the thing I wanna tell you about. If you're shopping for one of these, maybe at some point, Apple will really pull the trigger and make the Mac and the iPad fuse. This year it's closer than ever, so I feel like that's going to happen. But it is still a different proposition, different software, although the interface and the different elements are getting closer. And the other thing is you can buy a cheaper iPad to get this experience. iPadOS 26 and multitasking run on all the current iPads, including the entry-level model. And while your mileage will kind of vary on how fast and efficient it'll feel, you can spend hundreds less and buy one of those setups versus $1,000 or $1,299 for the entry-level iPad Pros, going up to $2,300 at the top end if you want to get 2 terabytes of storage, which you shouldn't. So those are my thoughts, very early thoughts at the moment on iPad Pro, which could be my everyday computer, and that's where I'd spend more money on it. But until it really, really does, I want to spend less. And that means maybe not the Pro for now.